We've all heard it said that the customer is always right. Well, I'm here to tell you that you already know the customer is often wrong. The customer may have the details wrong. They may have the facts incorrect about what happened or whatever. The expression is meant to indicate you need to accept that arguing with a customer over the details is completely futile. So that's what we mean when we say the customer is always right. And I kind of object to that expression, but instead I like to say, would you rather be right or would you rather be successful? Okay, so when it comes to customer satisfaction, always ask yourself the question. Let's say, for the sake of argument, let's use our cupcake bakery example, that the guy comes back and he says, there's a hair in my cupcake. And you have every reason to believe that this person is, well, you have some reason to believe that the customer is not being forthright with you with the truth. Maybe he's known in the area of somebody who scams the system or runs these little things. Who knows what it is? This could be a bad example. Would you spend any time arguing with him over it, or would you just make it right? If you have found yourself in the past debating customers about the legitimacy of their complaint or whose fault it was, like if you were passing on, well, that was the shipping company's fault, that was, who knows, you know, that wasn't us. When it left our possession, it was in perfect shape. You're gonna have to take it up. Don't do that. Would you rather be right? Would you rather be successful? We talked about how difficult it is to conquest a customer in the first place. Retain them. For goodness sake, retain them. And there will be times that you need to quote unquote fire a customer. There will be customers that you determined with good reason that maybe they were demeaning or abusive to your staff. Maybe there's a chronic problem where they're just never satisfied with your product or service. And those are the exceptions. You don't manage by the exception, you manage by the rule. So don't worry about being right. You know, they talk about in marriage, they say happy wife, happy life. They're alluding to, again, do you want to be right or do you want to be married? Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And in business, I would say, do you want to be right or do you want to be successful? So spend some time figuring out some word tracks for customers. Oh, I'm very sorry that happened. I will take the time to investigate to make sure that doesn't happen again. In the meantime, here's your refund. And could I offer you a promotional this, that, or the other item as compensation for the frustration, for the stress, for the hassle, whatever it may be. It's dependent on every business. You've got to do that. If you don't do that, that's what customers are now, you know, we talked about earlier about big companies framing the expectations of customers. And if somebody can, at the drop of a dime, return something to Costco, I mean, Costco is just wonderful with returns, right? I've got a great story I won't go into right now, but everybody can think of a story where Costco did not need, it was sort of unreasonable expectations on behalf of the customer, and yet Costco, no questions asked, gave the money back. And I think small business owners, because we're expense conscious, we're so worried about expenses get out of control, we're worried that somebody could abuse the system. If our system of making it right for you, of making you happy, if our customer service system is so customer friendly that it can be abused, again, that's the exception. Don't manage by the exception. Instead, take a look at that. Monitor. You have to record. How often am I providing a refund? That way you can look back to why. Is there something in your production that needs changed? Is it the same person again and again who I'm giving a refund to? These types of things. The underlying principle that I'm talking about here is you want to be right, you want to be successful. Choose success instead of being right. Don't argue with customers. Make it right for them. Make sure they're happy. And by the way, I would say in a lot of cases, it depends again. You know, if you're a new home construction manufacturer, you know, a new home builder, or if you're selling cars, you can't replace the whole product, of course. There are various things that it's not reasonable, but we have warranties and everything. We've got to make it right another way. And then in the example that I used for cupcakes or whatever, maybe it's just at a drop of a hat, we replace the whole thing, refund the money or whatever. But what we need to consider is just putting the customer square where he was when he walked into your establishment or when he decided to deal with you. That's not really making it right. You need to further compensate him for the hassle, for his time. In the example of the hair and the cupcake, it's like, this guy's probably not coming back again. Certainly just refunding his money is not enough. I need to entice him to come back. Very sorry, here's your money back, here's a fresh cupcake, and here's a coupon for another free one the next time you come back. That's the way to return a customer. And I would encourage all of you listening who run a small, medium-sized business, bear in mind the frustration and hassle that you endure when a business that you engaged doesn't come through. It's like, just because they refund your money, that's not. It's like, well, I wanted to give you my money in the first place because I want the product or service. So now I'm just back to the beginning. Now I'm frustrated and I complain to my friends about you. What we want to do, as the book, I think the book's called Raving Fans, we want to create raving fans. We want to create an army of people out there promoting our business, not an army of people that have justification for criticizing our business.